Welcome back to The Heat. We continue our discussion now on the World Cup. Joining us are two guests, Alfonso Mondelo joining us from New York and Sven Goldmann joining us from Rio. Alfonso, let me start with you this time. You know, you're hearing a lot of people say that this is the World Cup of the goalkeepers. We've seen some amazing performances, especially from the American goalkeeper, Tim Howard, 16 or 17 saves in that last game against Belgium. Depending on who's counting, we've seen also amazing performances from the Mexican goalkeeper, Ochoa from Navas, Costa Rica. You've mentioned him. What do you make of all these great performances from those guys who are keeping goal?
Well, I think that this World Cup has been a World Cup of teams. What I've noticed so far is the speed of play, the pressure that the teams are putting on each other. So therefore, there's been a wide open kind of soccer. There's been a lot of scoring opportunities. Goal scoring certainly is up, and this is giving the goalkeepers an opportunity to shine. Those that you've mentioned have been all spectacular. Howard, I think, broke a record with 16 saves in a World Cup in the last game against Belgium. Ochoa was fabulous for Mexico. We mentioned before, Navas is the reason why Costa Rica is where they are. Nowhere has had good games for Germany. So I think that, yeah, they are shining, but it is due to the style of play. I think that it's wide open, it is fast, it is aggressive. Teams are not holding back. And I think that the fitness level of most teams in this World Cup is quite high. And this is what's giving this rhythm and this high pace to the games and all the goal scoring.
Sven, Alfonso telling us there that we're seeing a lot of open play, a lot of attacking football, but are we also seeing a lot of defensive football? Because there have been lengthy periods in some of these games where there's been no score.
Yeah, that's true. There's a big difference between the first round games where everybody was brilliant in offense and we've seen spectacular games, and of course it's a different thing in the knockout phase, because if you get one goal, if you do one mistake, you're out of the tournament, and nobody wants to risk that. So we haven't seen that spectacular games in the knockout phase until now. But it was there was tension. It was nice to watch, not from the football point of view, but from the director's point, from the tension that was coming up. I loved the game Brazil against Chile. I've been there in Belo Horizonte. I was shivering who's going to make it. I also loved Switzerland against Argentina because I was quite sure that there would come one brilliant action from Messi, and he did it minute 118. I loved the Holland game, the Netherlands game against Mexico, because everybody thought it was Mexico to go into the quarterfinals until the last minutes. There was tension, and football is living from tension and from defense as well. But I like the tournament. I still like it during the knockout phase.
Alfonso, what's the match that's stood out for you?
So far, I think the ones that were mentioned were all spectacular matches. I thought the Argentina-Switzerland match had a lot of drama. Clearly, the United States last game against Belgium was drama till the end. These games in the knockout round, there's such parity amongst the teams that this is why we're seeing so many team games going to overtime. The score, the uncertainty in the result till the very end. So I think that drama and that tension is what the World Cup is all about, and is what's making it so exciting for the fans to watch.
Right, Sven, we've mentioned all these big names, all the big superstars playing in this tournament. The name we haven't mentioned yet is the one which is perhaps the most controversial, Luis Suarez, that biting incident. What do you make of his behavior and the punishment that he received?
I don't quite agree to those things that have been written and said about him. Of course, you can't bite a person, that's true. It's because of our cultural background, we evaluate that. But compare what he's done, just a short bit into anybody's shoulders, Chiellini's shoulder, to what a real brutal and aggressive fouls are. You can't get hurt that much by getting a bite into your shoulder. You hurt people in different ways. Of course he should be punished, of course he can't play in that World Cup anymore, but to get him out for 4 months from the whole world of football, of soccer, not let him train, send him out of the hotel and out of the country, I think that's something that doesn't work. At the same time, the FIFA said that the punishment against Franz Beckenbauer from my country was retaken, and that's something strange. I agree he should have been punished, but that's too hard.
Alfonso, what's your opinion?
Well, I think, first of all, that Suarez is one of the best center forwards in the world at the moment, if not the top man. So I think that there's a lot of responsibility on him. And the punishment goes for the fact that this is a repeat offender. This is not the first time that he's done it. This is the third time. And this time he's doing it in the biggest stage in the world, in a World Cup. Clearly a sport that is all about friendship and joining of cultures. And to have somebody bite another player on the field cannot be condoned. So, you know, we can argue and debate whether the punishment is too harsh or not. But I think FIFA is sending a good message that this kind of behavior cannot be tolerated on a soccer field. And Suarez has to take responsibility for his actions.
Sven, let's look at the rest of the World Cup. 8 teams left. Where does it all go to from here? How do you see this unfolding?
If I should rank them, I would rank Germany and France first. But
Surprise,
but
surprise, yeah.
Just one can be first. So I think there's a good German chance. I think they can eliminate France. Then there might be a semi-final against probably Brazil. I think they can make it as well. And I think the second semi-final is going to be Netherlands. Nothing against Costa Rica, but I think the journey has come to an end. Probably against Colombia. I don't believe in Argentina. I think there's a good chance for having again the final like 74 in Germany 4 years ago, Germany against the Netherlands.
Germany against the Netherlands. Alfonso, you think it's going to go that way, an all-European final?
I doubt it. I don't see the 2 European teams making it to the final. I do agree that I think the winner of the Germany-France game will be one of the finalists. And on the other end, I believe it'll be Argentina. And I think that being in South America, it will be an American team that ends up lifting the trophy. So we have to give a little bit of an advantage, perhaps, to Argentina.
Okay, we will know in the weeks ahead what happens. We'll all be there for the final. Sven Goldmann, Alfonso Mondelo, thanks to both of you for joining us. And that is it for this edition of The Heat. We would love to hear from you, so please send us your questions, comments, and story ideas to theheat@cctv-america.com. And now you can listen to CCTV America programs 24/7 from anywhere in the United States by simply calling 231-460-1199. I'm Arnold Naidu in Washington, D.C. Thanks for watching.